me know when to start.
Okay, please, you can go ahead, Jerry. You have the floor now.
Okay. Is there like a video so I can see people that are on ground, or are you recording them as well? Hello, can you hear me? Oh, okay. I think, okay, great. Okay, there's a little bit of lag, but it's fine. Okay, so I would share my screen. I don't know if I can share my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Is there like a projector? I
You
lost
can
you
share your
there.
screen, please. Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, you
great.
can share your screen.
Let me do that now. Just give me a minute. I'm going to pull my screen over. Yep. In few seconds, my screen will be up now.
So,
Okay. Yep. Well, see, let me go to the very top. Yeah, great. Okay, let me know when you can see my screen, and good morning to all of you. Just before I go on, can you pronounce it? Is it Ososo?
yes, that's it, Jerry. You got it.
Ososo. Okay, yeah. Good morning, everyone, all of you. Today I would just be kicking off the events that is going to be happening. And just before you get involved, I would want to start with this topic, which I title, or probably I would say Joseph titled this Career in Tech. My name is Solomon Jeremiah. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I am also a Microsoft MCT, and I work as a senior engineer. So what I will be doing today is I'll be speaking about career in tech. And let's go to the next slide. Let's see what I have there. Oh, I think I just went. Okay, yeah. So this is my introduction to what I have today. Forget about what you're seeing on the slide. I'll try to, explain things and, come down to your level where you can understand exactly the point I'm trying to drive. And even after the whole slide, I'll still have some conversation around tech itself and try to prepare your mindset to what you will be going through, which is the training, and how to, get the best out of the training that you'll be going through. So my introduction. From my introduction, you will see I said tech industry is a driving force behind innovation and progress in our modern world. Now, before I even start doing the introduction, right now I'm sitting in another country and you're also in another country, and you can see that we can communicate and you can actually see me. I could actually see you previously as well. And the reason we could do that is actually because of technology. I'm sitting here and I turn on an application. Joseph is able to call me, and I am able to turn on my cameras, and I'm also speaking and you can hear me. That's to tell you what technology is all about. Now, there are people that actually sat down and, worked on what the tools we are using now to communicate. So the next thing I'll be going to is, just before I go, Joseph, can you mute the mic from your end? I think it's sending a feedback to my own end. That would be awesome if you can do that. Okay, great. Yeah, so just before I continue again, I have from my slide, from the smartphones we use daily to the complex systems that power global businesses. Technology is at the heart of it all. So for some of us, we have smartphones. Now, look at your smartphone. It's also technology. You probably have an application that is called maybe WhatsApp, you have Teams, you have Zoom, and you have a lot of stuff. So you even make calls from your phone. That's technology. The next paragraph I have is choosing a career in tech offers numerous benefits, including high demand for skilled professionals, competitive salaries, and the opportunity to work on cutting edge projects that can shape the future. So if you're probably thinking of, choosing a career in tech, right? There are a lot of benefits that comes with it, right? There are also high demand skills for professionals, right? And now when we're talking of these high demand skills, we're also looking at good salaries, like good offers that is also coming with it. And when we're also looking at this, you have the opportunity to work with, technologies. I've just spoke about some technology that we're using now to communicate. Now, there are a lot of projects that you have the opportunity to work with once you get yourself involved, like in tech. If you choose to start your career in tech, the future holds a lot. And what we are probably talking about, we are seeing today, in the next 5 years, there are also more high demand skills that would probably be seen by then. But the good news is you're here today. Joseph has brought cloud computing to you, and you're about to start your career in tech. Whether you're interested in cloud computing, which is what Joseph is going to be doing today, software development, data science, cybersecurity, or artificial intelligence, the tech industry has a place for you. Now, today, you're probably going to be hearing about cloud computing. But what I always tell people, the first technology you're learning might not be the last, or might not be the end of where you're going to be learning. So for some of you, your interest might start from cloud computing. You might be here with Joseph today. He's showing you about the cloud. You start developing interest. You start understanding the basic. You start working with him. He's putting you through. And in a few months' time, you're like, okay, I think I know some of the fundamentals about cloud computing, and I'm now exposed to tech, but my interest is in artificial intelligence. Or I can see that the trend is going towards artificial intelligence. I want to move towards artificial intelligence. Yes, you can actually choose to switch to artificial intelligence. You can choose to say, oh, I want to be a software developer. I want to be a data scientist. I want to even go into cybersecurity. I've seen a lot of people that started with just understanding like the basic cloud infrastructures, and next thing, I'm seeing them becoming DevOps. I've seen some people that started with the basic, and in few minutes or few months, I'm seeing them doing security. They're working as cybersecurity analysts. So the choice eventually is going to be in your hand. I think someone's mic is also echoing. John, how are you?
Hi, sir.
Yeah, your mic is okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, so what I was trying to say is the choice you're making today might not be the final choice for you. You might end up, looking at all of the, opportunities, and your interest might change. So let's go into what I have next. Yeah, where is my slide? Let me move this. So what I have next is, let me go next. So this is overview of tech industry and its significance. Now, I'm just trying to go through this slide. Once I'm done with the slide, we would actually then go into what I would probably like. It's just going to be like an open conversation that we're going to have. So the next slide here is talking about the overview of tech industry and its significance, right? So the tech industry is a vital and dynamic sector that plays a crucial role in shaping our modern world. Yes, a lot that is happening right now is dependent on the tech industry. I always have a conversation with friends sometimes, and I ask most of my friends, like, how much do you think you have in the bank? If I probably ask you, you would just tell me, oh, in my bank account, I have like 1 million naira, I have 2 million naira. You can probably tell me. And I'll tell you, why do you think you have it? You say, if I log into my banking app, I can see that I have it. You're not holding the money, but because you're looking into your banking app and you're seeing the figures under your name or your profile, you're confident that, oh, that's my money. But I always ask them, what if the database of the bank goes off and their server shuts down? Do you think you have that money? Because you're really not seeing that money. You're just seeing it on your phone. The server goes off, their database shuts down. You can't send your money anywhere. You can't even purchase an item. If you go there, your card would not work. If you won't go to the ATM, you can't withdraw it. And if the bank is not open, you can't do anything. Now, the question is, why is it like that? That means we're actually dependent on technology. So for us to even carry out our transaction, even our money, our finance is being held in the bank, but then it's technology that is the driving force behind those that money we are looking at the bank. So that is why I have this first line saying technology industry is a vital and dynamic sector that plays a crucial role in shaping our modern world. Now, here are some of the key points and highlights it signifies. So let's go there. Let me move to the next one. Oh, sorry, I'm going backward. Yeah, so now let's look at this. We have the economic impact when we are talking about technology. One of the economic impacts is job creation. For some of us that are here, we're probably working. And why do we have work today? Why do we have a job today? Is because we have a technical skill. And what is happening is we learned about tech when we had the opportunity to learn about it. And we build our skills. We try to learn as much as we can. And in the long run, we found out that, okay, we are skilled enough and we're employable, and we started applying for jobs. And what happened is that we got a job, and right now we are working, right? And the reason we are working is because of tech, right? We've already developed that skill set that is, making us job ready for the job market. So one of the economic impacts is job creation. The tech industry is a major source of employment. Yes, even for most people in Nigeria. I would say that even in Lagos, there is a company in Lagos that they have one of the highest employees in that state, if we are looking at it. And they've also built most of the top tech guys that you probably know that are coming from Nigeria, because they actually went through that organization. So technology industry is a major source of employment, offering a wide range of job opportunities across various roles and specializations. Now, there are different job roles when we're talking about it. I know I listed a few high demand skill. And if we even look at cloud computing as a whole, there are a lot of job roles in cloud computing. There are lots. You will probably be learning about cloud services and all of that. And then you would see that inside of those cloud services, there are job roles that can actually come from it. You'll also probably be hearing about Microsoft 365 later on in the training. If you look at Microsoft 365, you will see that a lot of job roles that you can get out of that technology itself. Then we also have economic growth, right? Tech companies contribute significantly to the global economy, driving innovation, increasing productivity, and creating new markets. Yeah, economic growth. Look at most countries where you have the top tech industry. You'll see that they are doing very well. A lot of innovation. You meet highly intelligent people. You meet highly skilled people. And yes, that also contributes to the growth of the economy. So let's look at the next. We have innovation and development. So when we're looking at innovation and development, we have technological advancements. The tech industry is at the forefront of developing new technologies that transform everyday life. Innovations such as smartphones. We are probably using smartphones, and some of us will just wait for when the recent one is out, and then we are moving to the next. And if you look at smartphones in terms of technology advancement, I don't know when most of you started using smartphone, but I could remember one of the phones I was using then was, Nokia. And then you have Space Impact. We enjoyed playing it, right? And the screen was maybe black and white for some of us. Very soon we had like, oh, blue screen. Next thing, we started moving to, oh, Symbian phones. Like, oh, we could actually play some games there, Java games and all of that. We were enjoying those games. And we had memory card, we were listening to music. We were using Bluetooth then, infrared. We were all happy, like, oh, this is nice. And while we were just looking at that, we started seeing, oh, there's a new type of phone, BlackBerry. We are seeing the Android phones coming out, and everybody they were like, "Oh, you can ping me on BlackBerry and all of that." While we are just still looking at that, we started seeing like the Android OS going big. iPhone also, Steve Jobs is coming out and say, "Oh, you don't need a keypad. You can just touch your screen." And then we started seeing like new phones coming out. And from those phones, we started seeing us making calls, and we're like, "Oh, video calls. I can see my family member that is far. We can discuss. I can see stuff. Like I can even go online, watch videos. I can even learn with my phones." Now you would see that that was just within the space of few years, and you can see the advancement. And guess what? That's technology. So innovation such as smartphone, cloud computing, basically what you're talking today, moving your stuff to the cloud. And I guess you would get to know more about the cloud. But when you say cloud computing, I've seen many people say like cloud, like, do you make it rain? And I'm like, no, it's not that's not what we're talking about. But yes, there's cloud computing, store data, and and artificial intelligence have revolutionized how we communicate, store data, and make decisions. So basically, how we communicate right now, I know I've been saying that, you will still see it's still based on the technology advancement, because previously, back then, I'm not sure I'll be able to do this with you. I know most of us, we were not here. Like but at least we saw that there was a time they were using landline to make call, even if we didn't use it, right? And there's no way I would have probably been doing this event with a landline and talking to a group of people. It would have been possible, but probably I don't know how all of us would. Maybe we'll keep the phone upside down and be listening. But then you'll see that the technological advancement has, changed how we communicate, store data, and also make decisions. Then we have research and development. Continuous investment in research and development leads to groundbreaking discoveries and technological advancements, pushing boundaries of what is possible. So when it comes to research and development, right now we are probably here talking about cloud computing, learning about cloud computing, but we have people that are right now sitting down doing research, seeing how they can push beyond limits. I know previously we were not hearing about artificial intelligence in the cloud, but right now we're already seeing artificial intelligence everywhere. We are seeing people creating videos that they didn't have to sit down to shoot or anything. They are using artificial intelligence to create it. We haven't seen people creating music now with artificial intelligence. People sit down, tell the artificial intelligence, write this music for me, do the whole stuff. We are seeing all of that happening. And before all of that comes into existence, where we have to be saying, hey, we are doing this, we are doing that, some people were actually out there gathering data, learning about the technology, and a whole lot of it. So research and development is also something that is also happening. So if we go to the next and we have the society impact, and when we're looking at this, we would see improving quality of life. Technology enhances healthcare, education, and accessibility. So when we're talking about healthcare, I've worked in an industry where it was basically about med tech, that's medical research. But even as at when we know that it is more about medical research, the tech team was actually playing like a vital role. They were getting samples, they needed to send the samples to other branches that are far from the country. How do all of this happen seamlessly? How do people get see data that is being, worked on in another location, people working in remote location, how do they transfer information? How do they communicate? It was based on technology. We used the cloud, we created a sync where people can upload files, other people are getting files. Also emails, right? You have to send an email telling people, okay, this is a summary of what I did, this is what this is going to be doing, this is that. Yeah, that is technology also helping us to improve the quality of life as well in medicine or healthcare. We also have what we call the global connectivity, right? The internet and communication technology connects people across the globe. Right now, I think that part is what is happening now. It's connecting us together and then fostering collaboration and cultural exchange. So this is when we're talking about the societal impact. Now let's go to the future prospect. Now there's a whole lot coming up in technology. I know right now we are just here talking about cloud computing and all of that. And some people are out there looking for how to, create a sustainable environment. So we have tech innovations are crucial in addressing global challenges such as climate change, renewable energy technologies, smart grids, and efficient resource management are areas where tech plays a vital role. So there are people working on renewable energies, even people working on solar, smart energies and all of that. There are people, looking at how they can make it more robust, for the future. We also have emerging technologies like, quantum computing, biotechnology, space exploration, like a lot is coming up in technology. So you starting now is actually like a good call for you. You're about to start before most other, innovations start coming in. And I always tell people when we are talking about technology, when we are trying to learn about technology, it's never too late to start, but it's always good you start early. Because I could remember very well when I was, you know, playing with HTML, which is more about web development. Back then, if I'm learning, I know I'm just going to say, oh, I'm learning HTML and CSS and probably JavaScript. That was just what most people would just probably say they are learning. But right now, if you want to learn, you probably say, oh, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Oh, which of the frameworks of JavaScript? Oh, do you want to do Node? Do you want to know Vue? Like, there's a lot. Oh, Angular is there. There's this one. There's this. Now, do people still learn all of that? Yes, people learn all of that. But think about the first guys that started with just HTML. They understood what HTML could do, what CSS could do. No, there were no multiple frameworks, right? They were just learning these two. They got very comfortable. And then they're saying, okay, people are now saying, okay, there's a new framework. Let's learn this framework. Do you know what it will be for them? Now they're just going to move to the framework. They're just trying to learn the framework because they already have like a solid background with HTML, CSS, and maybe JavaScript as it was. And now they're able to pick up with the new framework. That's actually like a good progress, right? But if you probably just come in the future, you would learn, but sometimes you might just have a lot of work to do. So if you're starting now, most time what you're learning now might just be like, an improvement when we're talking about, the future innovation, stuff changing. It might just be an improvement, like, oh, this is this, okay. Just like most people that were not using the cloud environment before. We would probably talk about all of these terms like on-premises and the cloud, but just in case you start hearing about the cloud, right, and on-premises, there are people that they were just dealing with physical infrastructure. That's when I say infrastructure, like the IT servers and stuff they can see. They were dealing with just that. There was nothing like, oh, the cloud. And then we had the cloud. Do you know for some of those people right now, they transition into cloud computing. But to be frank, moving to cloud computing, it did not necessarily change much from there because you're dealing with servers, you're setting up servers, and then you're going to the cloud. You're basically just, setting up servers. You understand networking, and then you're going to the cloud. They say, oh, you have to build network in the cloud. You just need to understand the concept. How do we go about creating the network in the cloud? And then you would understand how to create it because you already understand the physical network itself. But for somebody that is probably starting and they are just coming, okay, you have to learn networking, then you have to learn how to create network in the cloud and all of that. So you would probably just be coming with the mindset of, I'm learning this, I'm learning this, I'm learning this. But people that already started and they were not thinking of anything like, the cloud, virtual network, they were just learning about network that they could see, servers they could see, giving permissions to users on their servers and all of that. Now, when the cloud is here and you're talking about this, they will see it. Now, doesn't mean you should not learn. No, the point is when you have to learn, do not wait, learn because there are new stuff still coming up. Like we're just seeing a little bit of what is happening, but there are more coming. So if you know how to join the trend, this is actually the right time for you to say, okay, I have to be serious. I have to learn what is happening, and then I have to continue with the future trend. And one advice I always give people is most times I've met with a lot of people that probably say, oh, I want to learn this, but it is not entering. Like, I don't think this is for me. Um, I don't know what's happening there and all of that. And I always tell people, where there's a will, there is a way. Cloud computing is not for a particular set of people. It is for everybody that is interested in learning it. So one thing that will help you when it comes to learning is try as much as possible not to just take like there are sometimes when you're learning, you can take a break, but sometimes there are some, break that people take and they just disappear and then they come back. I always tell people try to avoid this type of break. If you see that you're probably getting overwhelmed or you're getting confused, it's time for you to probably look for mentors, look for peer groups. There are some people that they don't really have mentors, they just have friends that are serious. The friends are eager, they are interested, like they have zeal. And that's what is actually taking those people forward. Because by the time you're sitting beside someone that has goals, plan, they are zealous about what they want to do, you can see that energy most times get transferred. You can see that when you're probably troubleshooting stuff, you don't really give up because you're looking at somebody that is also pushing as well as you. So you just keep going. But when you probably start learning now, and after some time, you're just like, oh, let me just go. And you're off. Then after maybe like 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, you're now like seeing, oh, cloud computing is now everywhere. You're now like, oh, let me come back. Most times that comeback might take you back again. Like you might have to like go back and then you will start, from where you would have not been starting from. So if you're going to be taking a break, it's always good to like take a good type of break. This is also similar to when you're learning. For me, I do reading a lot, most times at night. And one thing I always tell people when it comes to learning and reading is if I am reading right now, I try as much as possible not to keep my phones close to me. Like I always tell people, I don't like my phone calling me. I prefer going to call my phone, right? Because if maybe your phone is ringing or something is vibrating, right, you're going to look at it. But if my phone is not vibrating, the screen is not blinking, it's just far from me until I'm done with what I'm doing before I'll go pick that phone. That means the phone is not calling me. I'm the one going to like, call the phone. So the reason I do that most times is I don't know about you, but if I am like reading or doing something like I'm focused, right? And then maybe that 1 minute video or someone's WhatsApp status is coming up and it's making me like, feel okay. Most times you will see the way they even build most of this social media now, it will take you into a rabbit hole or you will just be going in circles. By the time you open it, the next video is moving to the next. And by the time you come back to your reading, trust me, you're not going smooth again. You'll have to go back and say, okay, where did I stop? Like you're trying to catch up. And that's the same thing that is going to happen when you're starting like your career. It's always good you don't take some of the breaks, like they're good breaks, right? There sometimes if I'm reading, just as I said, that oh, I just get distracted. Sometimes even when I'm reading, I'll be like, okay, I've understood to this point. Let me just go and take a stroll, let me go maybe look for something to eat, let me just sleep, and then I'll wake up. I would know that I'm continuing from a particular point. But if I take some unplanned breaks, or I'm just taking a break because I just want to randomly look at stuff, most times it takes me like 30 minutes back. So try not to kill the energy once you start, so that you can, follow with the future trend. So let me go to the next part of the slide. So the question is, why do you choose a career in tech? I've probably said most of the stuff that, that are related to what I'm asking now, right? We have innovation and growth. Tech is at the forefront of innovation. So I've probably, made comments about this. So why are you choosing tech career? Then we have high demand. Right now, we have different career paths in the world. But for tech, right, you probably have friends. They just wake up in the morning and they be like, oh, I'm resuming work, and they're working. You're not leaving the house to work. Yeah, no, no, no. Where are you working? I'm working in the US. I'm working in the UK. You're in Nigeria, you're working in the UK. How? I've seen people question, even me, myself. Well, right now, we know technology is like all over the place, but then you still see people ask you, where do you work? And I'm like, oh, I work in this country. And they'll be like, how? You're not in that country. How are you? How do you work there? So people still ask those questions. But then, yes, you will see that this is because there is no boundaries when it comes to like tech, right? You can work remotely, you can work from anywhere. You can, in fact, most people do multiple jobs. You can work multiple jobs. Like you can even act as a contractor, act as a consultant. You might not even be like working full time. You might just come in like, oh, part time or weekend. Like most times you might even work at night. Like most people, they do work at night. And when I say work at night, you're not leaving your house to go to the office. You stay in your house, and then you're just like, up looking at your monitor, doing stuff. And then when you're done, you just go to sleep. So that is why choose a career in tech. That's just one of the whys. Like you know, there's increasing need for tech professionals across various industries. And if you look at it as well, for most industries, right? If you go to some industries and you have a particular skill set, they don't have space for you. Like you can go to some companies, you have a particular skill set, they don't have. But if you look at the tech industry, medicine, healthcare, oh, we need somebody to help us design our website and, upload content, build portal for our employees, set up our emails. Okay, that's in healthcare. Oh, automations for cars, like automobile car. Oh, yes, we also need someone in our company, right? And we need a software developer. We are trying to build this application so that we can sell our cars and do this. We also need to set up this. That's a tech role in this thing. Oh, a big supermarket. Oh, the big supermarket. Yes. Our staffs, they need to check in. We need a time management portal. In fact, we need to take inventory of all we have in our stock. We need somebody that can help us design or develop an application that will help us handle all of these activities. Now, do you see that the tech roles are just spreading across different industries? So you as a tech person, you don't have to say, oh, I'm looking for a tech company to work in. You can be a tech person and say, oh, I want to work in a healthcare company. Oh, education. Yes, I want to work in education. Like there are no boundaries. There are a lot of places that you can explore your skills sets in. So we have what we call competitive salaries. So this part is also, sometimes I tell some people, like some people will ask, what's your motivation to do tech, right? Some people say, oh, it's because I like what I'm doing. Some people and I used to tell some people, sometimes you might need money. That can be your motivation. Sometimes you can be like, oh, I don't like the way I'm living. I need more money, right? I need to change my lifestyle, and I need to learn so I can, get something that can, fund the lifestyle I want to live. So some people, it might be the high salary that is their own goal. Some people, they are like, there was a time I was in an event and somebody asked me, they asked the question, why did you choose tech life? I said, what if it's like, poverty can actually be the reason, right? I might have looked at myself and I would say, no, this is not the kind of life I want to live. Then how do I get out of this? Like, how do I change this life? Then I'm looking at all the skill set, all the career paths. If I say I want to be this, do I have what it takes? Like, if I'm a doctor, I will end well, right? But do I have money to go to medical school? Can I offer to pay the amount for a degree so that I can become a doctor? And then I'm thinking, I don't have that money. I cannot go to school to get that degree. What can I do next? Now, the good thing is with tech, you don't need to say, oh, I need a degree. I tell people, I have a degree in computer science, but I've been working in some top companies and then they never asked me, like, do you have a degree? Nobody's asking, like, my degree has been one of the, it's very good to go to school, but one of the most unimportant document I walk around with is that degree because nobody has ever said, hey, can I see what you graduated with? Do you have a degree? Where did you? Nobody is asking me about that, but I have certifications. Those are the things I would say most organizations they are more interested in. They see my certifications and they, oh, you have this certification. Oh, that's what we want. And if you even go and check job roles out there, you see people are probably saying, oh, we need someone with this certification, we need someone with these certifications. Those certifications, they're actually cheaper than me going to get a degree as a doctor or maybe some other professions, right? It's easier for me to get the certifications. Yeah, because right now in Nigeria with $99 or I think it's $50 for Nigeria, you probably write the fundamental certificate for Azure. And that's one certificate that you can hold, and then you can move to the next, right? And how can you get it? You don't even need to spend 5 years in learning all of this before you can attempt it. I've seen people that they start 3 months, they're already writing the certifications. They've learned a lot. And you don't even need to go to college. Most people, they sit down and learn most of this stuff. For me, I was self-taught. I had to sit down, read documentation. Although it's difficult, I'm not saying you should. If you see who can train you, please. And that's why we have Joseph here. But for me, I had to go through all of those stuff, read, and then I was able to get the stuff. Now, there's no way I would say I want to be an accountant in an accounting firm, and I would be like, hey, I would just go and study by myself, and in 3 months, I'm good to go, right? And I don't even think their professional exam will be as cheap as $50 that you would be paying when you're writing the Microsoft Azure. And the good thing is that most of these certifications, they give them out for free. That you don't even need to pay. You can see people that will be like, oh, we have free certifications. Just come and validate your skill sets. And then you're writing those certifications and you're adding them to your CVs. So the whole point is, even when we are talking about the competitive salaries, we'll still see that for us to even get those high salaries, we don't really need to go through a long route, like saying, I'm going for 5 years doing this. You probably don't, you're looking at yourself. I don't even have money to go for, this degree, going for this. I could just learn. I could use YouTube. I could use online platform. I could educate myself, learn, get mentors, connect with people, network, and then I start earning high. And just before I end this, I've seen people that within the space of 6 months, their life changed from just being like someone that is trying to look for their career path, and then they're joining a training, writing certifications, and they're getting their first step job. It changed everything for them within the space of 6 months. So you too can actually be in this set of, you can also be one of these people that, everything just changed. So we also have flexibility. When we talk about flexibility, I always tell people most of the time that I don't think going to the office I can't remember the last time I said like for years I've not said, oh, I'm going to the office. Like I've never seen an office like, hey, I'm resuming work, then I'm carrying my school bag, or just saying, oh, I'm going to the office. Like for years, I've never seen like an office. I just basically sit in my house and I'm working. So this is what they call flexibility. Like I'm working, and the funny thing is that you're working, it's okay, you want to take your 1 hour break. When you're taking your 1 hour break, I can then, just say, oh, hi team, I'm stepping out. And then I go around strolling, doing exercise, walking, then I'll come back again to my table and say, oh, I'm back. And then I continue working, like very flexible. Sometimes I can say, hey, hi team, I want to go pick something from the store. I'll be back in 30 minutes. And they'll be like, oh, fine. I will leave my house, go to the store, get grocery, and then I'm back. Sometimes I might be expecting a package, and like I'm at home. I'll be like, oh, excuse me, I'm in a meeting. Excuse me, I just want to pick something. And then I go pick it. So it gives you that flexibility. Like, although most times it's good to see people, but then you still have organization where you can do hybrid roles. That means they say you work twice at home, 3 days at home or 2 times at home, then you come to the office. Like you have this flexibility. You get to mix up with people. Sometimes you might even choose to say, okay, I'm working in, like I'm going to a workspace. There are a lot of workspaces around. You can choose to say, oh, I'm going to work in one of those workspaces. So what that simply means is I can, pick up my bag, carry my laptop, go to a workspace or a cafe, sit down there, open my laptop, and I'm working. So if I work in that workspace, I might like the environment, like their coffee, and tomorrow I might see another place. I'll be like, oh, I like there. This place is looking more conducive for me to work. And I move to that place. Like I'm just carrying my work in my laptop. It is that flexible when you're working in tech. So let's go to the next part. And what is this? This is how to get started. So this is probably where we are now with the whole talk that I've been talking right now. So the reason Joseph is in Ososo is because he wants to get you started. So you're probably here. So if you're probably listening to me right now and you're sitting with Joseph, so I think this is where you would probably start, seeing how you will be connecting most of the stuffs you will be learning today. So the first thing is identify your interest, right? And when it comes to identify interest, most times I used to tell people, they will tell you to do what you like doing. Like you will hear people say, do what you enjoy doing. But sometimes you ask yourself, what do I actually even enjoy doing? Like do I like I've not even started doing something, so I don't even know if I will enjoy doing it, right? Is when I'm doing something, I'll know whether I enjoy doing it. I'm probably looking at different drinks, right? Like there's Fanta, Coke, apple juice, like orange juice. There's a lot. And you're telling me do what you enjoy doing or drink what you enjoy drinking. And I've not tasted any of those. And how do I even know? How do I know which of them I would enjoy, you know, um, you know, drinking? Is until I probably maybe take one and I'm like, I think I like this one. Or I try it and I'm like, nah, this doesn't. I'm going to the next one. Like, okay, this is actually something I enjoy doing. So why I'm saying this is when it comes to identifying your interest, I do training for people. You might come into cloud computing. No knowledge is a waste. You would do it, go with the flow, but eventually that might not be what you're interested in. But what I always tell people, it would give you this exposure of what technology is all about, at least. Like you're having like the fundamental knowledge. You're getting exposed. Now, I've seen people where they come in, they start learning about cloud computing, and I always do training as well. And most times I come from the infrastructure side. When I'm doing this training for most of them, they flow with it. They try to understand it. They get involved, right? And when they are getting involved, they are now seeing how we can secure this infrastructure. And while they are looking at that, they're saying, I think this security is actually very important. And I think I love security. Let me go and try it. So they start seeing that their interest, although it's in cloud computing they came with, but they want to do like the cyber security side of things. And the switch becomes very seamless and easy for them. I've seen some people, they are like, oh, they are doing the cloud infrastructure and they start doing like scripts. Oh, let's create user using this script. Let's do this. And then they're saying, oh, there's something called Terraform that can, run this script. There's something called biceps. Like oh, we have Kubernetes. I can automate stuffs. And they'll be like, I think it's the DevOps side that I want to deal with. Now, automatically they move their interest to the DevOps. They start doing stuff around DevOps. Now they start seeing that they have interest for DevOps. Now, why I'm saying this is today, you don't have the opportunity to say, oh, test software development. Can you code? Test this, AI, test all of that. But the truth is how you would handle this, how committed you're going to be with cloud computing today, how you're going to dive in, see what is happening, try to be curious, ask questions would actually determine if you're going to be interested in cloud computing, or probably you're just going to see something else you like and then you would move there. But do not look down on these starting points. Like, do not say, hey, I don't think I like cloud computing or this. If you have the opportunity to understand what is happening, look at what will be going on, try to test stuff, get involved. If they say, oh, this is what you have to do, you have to create this user. See how you can create those users. See how you can probably, set up an account for someone. Like, if it's to assign license, just see how to assign license to users. Like, those little things can actually be what would tell you, okay, your interest is in this place and this is where I'll be looking at. So today, the first way to get started is identify your interest. You probably don't know what software development look like. You probably don't know what AI looks like, but I can confidently tell you, once you get familiar with the cloud, you will probably see yourself start playing with Copilot, then you're going to Copilot Studio, and then you're like, oh, there's Azure AI. Let me go there. And you'll tell people, okay, I think I know the cloud now. AI is the future. I choose AI and I'm going that way. It is up to you and it's totally fine. So the next thing is gain experience. Now, gaining experience, I always tell people there are a lot of ways to gain experience. Most times, most people, they feel like, oh, experience. You have to look for a company to work so that you have experience, right? And I always tell people sometimes experience is not just you working in a company, right? Experience can be you yourself, getting yourself to do what you think is an experience when you're applying for a job. Now, example, you're probably looking for a job and they say, oh, we need somebody that is experienced in this, experienced in that. You can actually start building those experience before you get the job. You can, if you probably start working somewhere right now, what's going to happen is you're going to have like a day-to-day task. You have stuff you do and all of it. Now, for me, back then, most times I still like do it. What I do is I go to job roles. There are a lot of sites that have job for people. So what I do is I go through the different job I want. Now, I could probably say I'm looking for a job as a cloud engineer. And if I search that, I'll see a lot of jobs coming out, right? But you'll see that the roles that each companies they have, sometimes they're different. Like they're just mixing stuffs, right? The job roles, they will mix stuff. So what I do most times is when I look at it and I look at something that is, common, like the common trend that they need, I'll ask myself, do I know it? Right? If I don't know it, I know that something is going wrong. That means I'm dropping out of this particular place. I start